Hey YouTubers, how's it going? Mike Martin's here, Mike Martin's channel. Just working on my office today, getting the storage done. And I want to put together a video because somebody asked me a really good question today. Question is, Vancouver home prices crashed 50% in the 1980s. American home prices crashed 50% in 2007 during both crashes. Household debt was lower than it is today. Why is it different this time? The first thing that comes to mind, why it's different this time, is capital control. Back in the day, there was several systems that were implemented. It's called the Bretton Woods systems. I did a video about this discussing how it has to do with exchange rate, monetary policies, how there were imbalances in payments. So basically the Bretton Woods system was a system that was designed after World War II, allowing countries to have competitive, how do you say it? I'm just trying to think of it, how to say it in English. A competitive way of keeping a balance between countries, right? And devaluation of currencies as well. Preventing devaluation of currencies. That's what it was. Yeah, sorry, I got a huge brain. My brain's out of it today. But, well, it has a lot to do with the International Monetary Fund in the United States. Believe it or not, even though we're in Canada. And what happens is, one of the major reasons was the monetization or the demonetization of our funds by offering 0% interest rates or no interest rates. And that was to stimulate the markets. Hopefully people buy in and use the free money to buy back. And the reason why household debt's so much higher is because there's not enough controls put in by the banks, by the higher-ups, by underwriters, by the big people, because this allows lenders, underwriters, all right up to the top, right to the president, not the president of the country, the president of the organization, basically putting a lot on his shoulders, but achieving those numbers they want to get. And a lot of those financial institutions do have targets to reach every month, and a lot of pressure on the lenders. And what's happening is they're tying customers into products that they don't need or that are not beneficial for them at all. And then fudging the rates big time and moving the rates around, I think, is a big problem. Big problem. The best way to do this is if I'm going to make a show that I could explain the economic policy. Because right now it's getting a lot harder for money to exit China as we speak. Okay. And the main cause of what's happening in Seattle, someone commented on my Seattle video, is this. Is because these capital controls aren't put into place properly, allowing a huge flow of wealth to come from somewhere else will eventually buy out the American proper. There's no way around it. It happened in Vancouver. It happened in Toronto. It happened in London. It happened in Melbourne. It happened in Sydney. It happened everywhere. Now, what I'm trying to say, the importance of this, of me telling you this, guys. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm really sorry. I've been really busy. I've been babysitting with the kids. I've been doing a lot of things today. But what is happening is the American proper will be bought out of the West Coast. That's my prediction. I left the coast. I moved 2 hours inland, and I bought myself a gigantic house, like almost 9 bedrooms. I have a freaking gym in my house, a full gym. But because I left I could never pull this off in the city. I could never buy a home free and clear in the city. So I decided maybe it's better that I cut back, sell a company that's turning huge profits, and just kind of selling everything and walking away, you know, and that's what I did. But what's going to happen? A lot of people are asking for predictions. I get people to predict every day. And this is what I'm going to tell you guys. If proper capital controls are not put into place, especially in the United States, Canada could have fixed this long time ago, but they never did. Before the U.S. gets bought out, Seattle is on fire right now. I've been talking about this for the last friggin' year. Seattle, Tacoma, friggin' all the way down to San Diego, San Francisco, all the way it's being bought out. Why? Because of investors coming in and buying up the market. It's plain and simple. It's right in front of you what's happening. And the problem is most people have no idea of specific policies because, to me, the mainstream economists tend to explain almost nothing of importance to the public when it comes to capital controls. And this is why we are failing when it comes to our policies like this. I'm just trying to think what else I could add to this. What's going to happen? I say in 2 years, there's going to be a mass exodus. There's a mass exodus leaving London right now. There's a mass exodus leaving Melbourne, Sydney. Do you know that in Melbourne and in Sydney, that they have to actually physically build condominiums just for police officers, doctors, teachers, in the city, so they don't have to travel 2 hours by train to come to town to work? I know it sounds hard to believe, but it's happening. I know people that are outside of, let's say, San Francisco, and they have to travel an hour and a half to get there, an hour and a half to get home, because they can't afford to live in their own proper cities. So this is going to get worse, people. Why? Because we cannot fix these capital controls. And, you know, in the 80s, things were a lot easier in my last video. People would come with a sack on their shoulders, a bag over their shoulders, come to the country with a nickel in their pocket or two dimes or 2 nickels to rub together, pay off their house, get a job. All you have to do is get a job. Pay off their house in 5 years, send their kids through school, free and clear, and then buy a cottage and have a family cottage to go to every summer. This is how it was up until the mid-90s. And this is what's happening, people. And I don't know, as one person, such as myself, how can I, you know, I'm trying my best to explain this to you guys. You know, sorry, I'm just everywhere today. I'm gonna go to the other question that was asked. Basically, realtors are paid to be cheerleaders. 90% are not honest, like doctors being drug sales representative, not health advocates. That is 1 million quadrillion %. It's because money is, to me, is everyone keeps asking what the Antichrist is. It's money. It's money's taking over everybody. It's taken over our minds. It's taken over our decisions. It's taken over our relationship decisions. It's taken over our everything you could imagine. And I think it's just capital controls need to be fixed. Measures need to be put in place to protect the American proper. The Canadian proper is toast. We only have so many major cities we could live in before we're out in, like where I am, in a tiny town, 10,000 people, but I love it here. The people are great. I love this town. I'm grateful and I'm so happy, hallelujah, that I'm here and that I work. You know, I created my own business here and I'm building off that and expanding my office here and stuff to sell from home. I'm really happy, but people need to realize that the city is not, you know, being part of the big scheme, the grand scheme of things, it's tough, you know, to let that go. Because people believe they need to be part of a bigger thing to make it in life and be more attractive in life and stuff. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Anyways, my thoughts, basically, West Coast is going to be completely bought out. And investors will start moving eastward into the interior. And I think the American proper is going to move east and further east and further east. I wish I was more educated so I could educate this to you guys better, or I could explain to you what it is I'm trying to say. But who's going to suffer? It's our kids and grandkids are going to be in so much problem right now that they have no way to... They're born into debt, so there's got to be, like I said, there's got to be some sort of something's got to get fixed. And somebody asked me that works for a very popular publication down in Portland that's been in contact with me, that works for a newspaper there, contacted me and said, Seattle's trying to impose the foreign buyer's tax. They're not allowing us to do this, Mike. What do you propose we could do in Seattle? What can you propose I write a story about in Seattle? Yes, I understand. It's you have to tear the Constitution apart if you wanted to put a foreign buyer's tax. But the Constitution doesn't state nothing about adding a vacant owner's tax. So if you own and you leave your property boarded up and empty, you got to pay taxes. Look at what happened to France. I told you guys my trends in the housing market. Look what happened to France. 70% tax if your property is vacant. And you lose your... Look it up. It's on record. Look it up on Google. 70% for vacant homes in Paris. They're done. They're saying, we're not dealing with this no more. And if you lie, they repossess your home. They take it in forfeiture. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if this... I told you this tsunami is going to start in the west, and it's going to head east. By the time it hits the shores of the East Coast, it's going to be... I think it's in the next decade. But I see in the next year or two, the whole west coast of the United States just totally bought out, and mass exodus of people. Like I said, guys, I wish I was just more educated to explain this to you guys. But I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Anyways, don't forget to tune in on Wednesdays for my trends in the housing market, 9 p.m. Pacific time. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.